In this video, I will show you how you can set up FreeBSD for gaming. First we will set up the system, then we will install Wine and Steam, and then we will play some games. Now before we start, welcome to the channel. Here you can find topics about Linux, Docker, game dev, or software development in general, or short, agile dev art. If you like that kind of content, then give a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified when I release new videos. All the links from this video are down in the description and also down there are the timestamps, so you can skip any part if you want. What you can see here is NomadBSD, which is a portable FreeBSD version that is meant to be used directly from a USB drive. NomadBSD is my favorite FreeBSD variant. I always use this one. It runs from a USB drive and it has an automatic graphics driver detection, which makes it very convenient. In a previous video, I showed you how you can install this one, so if you want to run NomadBSD yourself, then you can check out the link to the video up there or down in the description. To make this one work for gaming, we first need to check if the graphics are working properly. So I will open the terminal. First I will install a few things, Vim and GLX utils. And now let's do glx gears-info. And this is actually the first sign that something is wrong here. Now let's check the Xorg log. And I will search for glx typo. And now here you can see an error, failed to load module glx, cannot open libglx so file. So let's see if this file is there. I will copy that, middle mouse button click, and it will copy it. And now let's see what's inside. So this file is only a link and the original file is inside the .xorg folder. But this folder does not exist in here. So obviously this link is broken. So first we will need to reinstall this one. Let's remove the broken link. This one. And now this file will be installed together with the Xorg server. So let's reinstall that one. Remove the Xorg server. Those packages will be removed, so remember those because we will reinstall those afterwards. So I will copy that and yes for uninstall. And now let's reinstall those and I will paste it in and also format it. Perfect, install. Installation complete. And now let's create that directory .xorg that was missing previously. And let's move this file inside of it. And let's also recreate the link. The original file and this one. All right, let's check. So again, we have the link and we also have the .xorg folder. Let's see what's inside. And yes, here is the original file. Now we need to restart. So let's do it. Back inside the NomadBSD and let's check the terminal. Let's try again, glx gears-info. And now as you can see, it is working. Let's see if everything is all right. So it has recognized my graphics card. I'm using AMD, but here I can see that the wrong graphics card is used because I have two. So let's fix that. Close this one. First, let's update the graphics driver. So we want to install the latest AMD driver, which at the time of recording should be DRM515. So let's install this one. So it says that the most recent version of the package is already installed. And this is absolutely fine. We can now continue. But in case there is a newer driver version available, on NomadBSD we first need to unlock the packages, because driver packages are locked on NomadBSD. So now I will demonstrate what to do in that case. First, do sudo pkg unlock DRM515 kmode and unlock DRM kmode. And now let's remove those. So the driver packages will be removed. And now let's install them again. Perfect, my drivers are now up to date. But still, we need to make sure that the right graphics card is used. So let's check the connected graphics cards, PCI conf-lv, and let's grab B3 display. So here are my two graphics cards. And it obviously took this one here because of the name that we saw while it was rendering. But I want to use the first one instead. So we will need to tell Xorg which one to use. Let's take a look at the config files. The files are located inside usr local etc x11 xorg.conf.d. This one was generated by the automatic driver detection. Let's see what's inside. So the driver is actually AMD GPU, but the bus ID is the one from the second graphics card. And as I said, I want to use this one instead. So let's make a new config file. Let's copy the generated one. And let's call it AMD GPU instead. Now let's edit the file. That's why I installed Vim. And now here, let's navigate to identifier. So I'm just using the arrow keys. Now press I to insert. And now you can edit what you want. So let's delete AMD. And I will write card 0. And I will correct the bus ID to the first graphics card. All right. Press escape and now write :WQ. Let's check again the directory. So here is my new config file, AMD GPU, and I created a new one because initgfx will be resetted by the automatic driver detection, and this happens when you restart the machine, so it doesn't make sense to edit this one. Now Xorg should take this one because it is the first one inside the folder. And now again, let's restart. Back in NomadBSD, let's check the console. And let's try glx gears-info. Still working. Let's check the graphics card. And yes, now the right one is used. Perfect. Let's close that. And let's clear the terminal. Now finally, we are ready to install Wine and Steam. FreeBSD and Linux use Wine as the Windows compatibility layer, but unlike Linux, FreeBSD has just a few Wine ports that you can use. You have Wine version 7, then an experimental Wine Proton version, which is also Wine version 7, and you have Wine version 8, which is only 64-bit. Those are the official versions, but there are also a few unofficial ones if you want to try out. First, let's install the official versions. Since Wine version 8 is only 64-bit and Steam itself is only 32-bit, I will skip this one and install Wine version 7 and Wine Proton version. So let's do sudo pkg install Wine 7, Wine Proton and Mesa DRI, just to be sure. And enter. Perfect. Check the Wine version. It says that I also need to install the 32-bit Wine version using this command right here. And that's what I actually like about FreeBSD. You get instructions what you need to do next. In a previous video, I gave you my top reasons why I think FreeBSD is better than Linux, and instructions like this is one of the reasons. So if you're interested, you can check out the link to the video up there or down in the description. So let's install 32-bit support for both. Middle mouse click. Now it copied the command down here and enter. Alright, and now we need to do the same thing also for Wine Proton, which is installed at a special location. USR local wine-proton bin wine. And again we have the command right here. Middle mouse click and enter. Alright, let's clear the terminal. Now if we check the Wine version again, we get an error because there are still 32-bit libraries missing. So if you get an error like this, then do sudo pkg install wget, go to root, and now I will copy the command from my cheat sheet. This is it, and this will now download the 32-bit libraries for the FreeBSD version 14-release. This is the one that I'm using right now, and enter. Alright, I'm still inside root, and let's unpack it. This is the command. Perfect. Let's go back to home and let's clear the terminal. And now if I try wine-version, I'm finally getting the Wine version, which is 7.0.2. Let's try the same thing for Wine Proton. So Wine Proton is 7.0. I also mentioned that you can use unofficial Wine versions, and here on this GitHub page you can find some. So here you can find pre-built versions of Wine and also the instructions how to install them. So it says that you can use a script. I will copy it and paste it here and execute. Now I have the script, and now I can go to the releases page. And now here you can see the different Wine versions. Those are 32-bit, but you also have the 64-bit packages. So let's say I want to install the Wine patched version 7.4.1. I will copy this. I just need the name. Now let's make the script executable. It's the same like on Linux, chmod plus x and the script name. And now let's execute the script, install, and the copied Wine version without pkg. And enter. Installation complete, and here is the executable. It installed the 64-bit version and also the 32-bit version. So let's try it out. I want the 32-bit version. And this one is now 7.4 staging. Finally, let's install Steam. First, let's download it. I will download the official Windows installer. Perfect. Let's go to downloads, and here it is. I also tried out the Linux version of Steam, but somehow I couldn't get the graphics driver to work properly with that version. So that's why I can only recommend the Windows version of Steam. Before I install the Steam version, I will first configure Wine. I will use the official Wine Proton version and the default Wine prefix. So let's do Wine Proton wine boot -u and enter. This will create the default prefix. Now I will install Winetricks. And now let's run Winetricks. And I also need to specify the Wine version that is used. So Wine Proton should be used, and enter. Default prefix is OK. Now select Install Windows DLL. And now here we want DXVK and C++ distributables. I will take 2008, 2010, and 2013. And then VKD3D. And OK. Now this only warns us that some packages contain only 32-bit versions. That's OK. Let's click this through. Also just install all the packages. Finally done installing. Now let's run winecfg. And make sure that Windows version is set to Windows 10. OK. Now let's close it. And again. And now we are ready to install Steam. Again, I will use the Proton version. And Steam setup, run. Let's install it. And run. All right, let's log in. Now, if for some reason Steam doesn't start after the installer or it just crashes, then try to start it manually. In my case, it is installed inside the default prefix, program files, Steam, steam.exe. And in addition, I also added no CEF sandbox. If I can trust Steam forums, then this one should work. Let's try it out. Enter. And it did work, but it's flickering like crazy. Let's go to library. Alright, this is much better. Now we can start downloading and play some games. I already downloaded a bunch of them, and the games are on my external hard drive. It's already plugged in. Go up here to this icon and double click to mount it. So here it is, Steam library, and here are the Steam apps. Now I will link this one to Steam, so I will copy that and go to my default prefix, drive C, program files, Steam, and in here we have Steam apps. Let's open the terminal here and close Steam. Now let's remove the Steam apps folder, so rm-rf Steam apps. And now let's link the drive folder to Steam apps. Let's close the terminal. And here is the folder. And yes, it is linked. And now again, let's start Steam. And now I have all my games. Now with games on FreeBSD, it's a bit hit or miss. Maybe it will work, maybe it will not. So in this video, I will actually play games that did work for me. Before I start playing, I will also enable the in-game FPS counter. So in-game counter, let's do top left and high contrast. And let's enable the Steam overlay. Alright. Now I will start with a classic called Mafia. It's an older game, but a good one. Play. Let's change the Mafia settings. It has recognized my graphics card, and I will max out the settings. That should be good. Save and exit. And let's play. Play. It works. Alright, let's do new game. So as you can see, it's running at 60 FPS. Almost. Whoa. Let's get out of here. It is exactly as I remember it. So right now I need to follow the compass. And I obviously need to get to this X. Whoa. Okay. Sorry. So it is a pretty cool game. Oh no. Let's try something else. Now let's try something more modern. I will play Constructor. Constructor is a game from my childhood, and this is actually a remake of it. Let's see if I remember how this works. So I want to build a factory here, and now I need to send workers. So I want this one here. Let's buy it. So this is like a city building simulation, but it's much more cartoonish. Yeah, build it. So it's constantly running at 60 FPS. So obviously this is a limit here. So if I zoom out, then yeah, the frame rate drops to 20. But if I zoom in, it's at 60. All right, let's try something else. The last game I will play is Tomb Raider. Ultra seems okay. And play. Alright, this looks more iconic. Now, unfortunately, there is no frame rate counter here. But it plays really smooth. So if I would guess, then this is probably running at 60 FPS. Maybe it needs to burn. Run, Lara. All right. If you like my videos and also want to support me, I also have a Patreon page. I really appreciate all the support I get, and it's because of your support that I can make videos like this one. So thank you very much, and the link to Patreon is up there or down in the description. Those games that you can see here, not even half of those works on FreeBSD, unfortunately. It is probably because of the older Wine versions here on FreeBSD, because the drivers should actually work as on Linux. Also on Linux, you have all the various Wine repositories, you have all the Proton versions, and it's like you get a new Wine version every month. So playing games there gives you a much better experience. So if you're interested how to set up your Linux PC for gaming, I made a video about it and you can check out the link to the video up there or down in the description. And that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, then like and subscribe. And if you really like the video, down there is a super thanks. So you can buy me a coffee, for instance, so I can make more of those awesome videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.